As part of my journey through trying to gain emotional intelligence, I've had to acknowledge the fact that I have to both experience and process emotions. You can't do one without the other and still expect to grow. So today was a really bad day. It actually started off pretty well. I played volleyball. I had a really great time. It was fun. Yesterday was hard. We had a call out from an employee, and there was a lot of pressure on me at work. Today, we had about half the shift where I was only really operating with like one employee out of the two employees that I'm supposed to be having on a shift. I was assigned a lot of work, and because one of our managers got moved to a different spot, I'm taking on his responsibilities. And I'm not sure if I was trained appropriately for the job or if I'm actually equipped with the right knowledge to be able to do what I need to do. And as such, there was a lot of pressure at work today. On top of that, we have an ever demanding group of customers, and we have more responsibilities continuing to get piled onto us on a monthly basis while also having our budget cut at work. Because of all these things that are outside of my control for the most part, I become very frustrated with my lack of control. My upbringing was a lot of me having to do what I was told to do, despite the fact that I knew that it was ruining me. I'm still unable to cry as part of my upbringing because I was taught that crying was a form of manipulation. I'm not allowed to do that. It's a really warped sense of reality. I know it's one of those things I'm still trying to work through. It's a long-term goal of mine to be able to cry like a normal human being, but that's also besides the point. When I grew up, and as I was growing up, I'd have to like fly every other week into a different state. I'd have to attend all these events and be with all these people that made me feel like garbage. And there was no sense of control in my life. And I'm being thrown back into that as an adult in smaller senses, but because I can experience motion now, it's like magnified. Like today, for a normal person, is not a very big deal. It's frustrating, it's annoying, but it's not something that makes you like fall. But because I've delayed so much trauma for so long, it just feels a lot worse than it should. So I've been trying to learn how to process that emotion or emotions, and how to allow myself to experience it in a way that's not self-destructive. And these are the times I wish I had a therapist, and I'm not trying to substitute YouTube as therapy. I'm just trying to express my thoughts here on really just trying to grow in emotional intelligence. So yeah, today was a bad day, but tomorrow is going to be, different. It may not be better, it may not be worse, but it'll be different. I've gotten through another 24-hour period. What sucks is that whenever one of your biggest hangups is lack of control, you tend to look at your life and how well you can optimize it to be under your control. The things that I fear the most and the things that I worry about the most are things that I know that will inevitably happen that I can't delay or stop or, create an outcome that'll be different than the one that's already preordained. And my biggest concern is that consumes me to the point where the things that I can control, I no longer focus on. My, philosophy when it comes to hair loss, for example, has always been, focus on the things you can control, let go of the things you can't. Like, I can't control the fact that I'm balding, but I can control my perception of myself. I can control the exercise that I do. I can control who I am as a person. Those are the ways that I have found to cope. But I can't seem to apply what I honestly think to be a pretty simple concept to a more complex situation like working politics and trying to figure out finances and worrying about your eventual death and what your life will have meant. Things like that I can't apply because there's too many different factors and it's more complex and it matters so much more than your hairline. I'm going into a ramble now, so I'm going to go ahead and end it off here. There is a message, there is a moral somewhere in the words that I've said. If I had to identify one in my own way, I would say that we are going to go through life, and there are going to be times where we can't control these circumstances and situations that surround us. And the only thing that we can ever expect ourselves to do is our best. I did my best today, and I still failed. And although that sucks, I can at least take solace in the fact that I gave it everything that I had. And even if that wasn't enough, I can be satisfied with that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, and do not forget to keep it casual.